Good morning and welcome to December. I'm Colleen Derrick, a financial advisor with Swagar's Insurance. The month of December, our topic is going to be our plans, our values. Our plans refers to the plans that my dad began when he began this business back in 1990. We incorporated, I believe it was in 1991. And the values that he instilled in me, both as a parent, that he and my mom instilled in us as a family, and that he and my mom really breathed into this company when they began it, are that people matter. My grandma and grandpa were a wonderful example of living this out in their day-to-day life. They cared about people. Didn't matter where that person was in their journey, whether they were struggling, whether they were succeeding, they cared. They endeavored to come along and encourage and support people in doing their best life and meeting them right where they were at that day. My mom and dad continued that legacy both with their lives. They were both teachers and both are still teachers at heart. They love to share knowledge, to share wisdom, and to challenge people to elevate their expectations, to imagine and to dare to dream what could be accomplished if resources were managed right. If they had somebody to just give them a little bit of a boost or to engage them in a team effort, what could be accomplished then? So my dad began with holistic financial planning back in the 90s, before it was the rage. I remember he told me, somebody said, Bill, you can't put that all in writing for your clients. And he said, why not? Why can't I put it in writing? It's what we mean to accomplish. This is what they mean to do. But it was so broad in its scope and possibly daunting in the challenge to accomplish all of the goals and the targets and the strategies that he would envision for his clients. And yet that's exactly what he did. He put it in writing, and then he put his all into making those things a reality so that the clients could live their best lives, so that they could dream big, so that they could impact big. When I bought the company in 2017, it was a challenge to really distill the value set down to three values. What I settled on is peace, contentment, and love. Because without love, why are we bothering with anything else? So it had to be in there. Peace, because peace is precious, especially in this culture and in this time where we have chaos, when we have constant change, where we have fatigue from decision making. Peace is a gift. And contentment ushers in peace. Contentment is, I think, perhaps the most valuable skill we have in today's day and era. My ancestors and people I love lived in a time where resources were very scarce. And so to be able to make the most and stretch and utilize and envision purpose for every piece of resource was incredibly important. Sometimes it meant survival. Back when we were talking to people who lived through the world wars, life or death hung on being able to repurpose a moldy crust at times. That's not my reality. I don't understand that concept. I didn't live that. But I have been poured into by people who did. This era, when I was raising my sons, it seemed that we had a glut of choices everywhere, and teaching them to focus, to edit, restraint, that those were the skill sets they needed to throw away the food that you were too full to eat, because otherwise you were going to overeat, because we had such an abundance. That has been my reality in my lifetime. We used to be able to, find the Sears catalog at Christmas and see all of the colors and textures and choices available to us. It was very exciting. Now I type in not even a full word on Google, partial word, and this buffet comes up before me of everything and every style and every color and every size and every texture imaginable. We need different skill sets to tackle the challenges of this day and this age. And contentment, being aware of what is enough for you, being able to prioritize, that becomes a very valuable skill set. So how do we frame that with merry and bright for our Christmas season? Well, hang on for the ride and we're going to see. It is the Christmas season, so we're changing our format a little bit this month, still going with 4 topics. What a year it has been. What a year it has been. We've faced challenges. People have faced deaths in their families, both non-related to COVID, just life, and COVID related. Some people have been very insulated from COVID and it hasn't been a factor on their radar at all. And so it's quite a dichotomy in how we're responding to this year because our experiences are not the same. So we faced challenges, we've chosen to overcome, worked as a team, and had many things to celebrate, including our differences. And as each of you have brought your journeys to either the virtual meeting, a phone meeting, or an in-person meeting, it has been my privilege to hear so many of you finding opportunities to thrive and bless others during this challenging year. Wanted to take the opportunity to share the core values of Swagar's Insurance, which are contentment, peace, love, and because we're going with 4, I'm adding in gratitude. I tried to really narrow down to 3, but gratitude is definitely a sub-value that I embrace and really try to keep in mind when we're talking about your life planning. Gratitude's important. So week number 1, contentment, how and why. Here, my picture of Todd. He is content. He's got a lap and he's got a person and he's happy. For my clients, I have a wonderful example of client contentment. So our contentment clients, they've experienced some amazing blessings and they have exceeded their best case scenario situation for retirement. What a celebration we had as we discussed how to transition them into retirement with such abundance, because this wasn't the retirement they had dreamed of. This was so far above and beyond. What an incredible gift. And yet how odd to try and re-envision a grander retirement than you'd spent your whole life working towards and planning for and dreaming of. And to now be in a position where you can exceed all of that. Yes, it's exciting. Also comes with its challenges. They decided to stick with their original income plans rather than increasing their desired standard of living. They said, hey, that was always the plan. This was always our dream. If it was good enough for us then, it is good enough for us now. We haven't changed our standard of delight. They enjoyed their lifestyle. They enjoyed their family, their community, and their friends. Life was and is good. They've been having a great journey and they're at a great position to transition. So recognizing the feeling of contentment allowed them to settle into this sweet spot. And they've been celebrating with generosity ever since. That was such a precious example of generosity that was born out of contentment. Contentment can not only bring us to a really great place of joy, happiness, peace, contentment, but again, it can also then be that foundation, that platform, that springbox for generosity. And that's our first week for December. As you ponder contentment in your life, it's a great place to start by thinking, what are my needs? What are my wants and what are my dreams? And to recognize that all of our dreams don't have to be our goals. So many of you have heard me ask you the question, okay, what's your budget? I want the 3 of them. I can exist, I can get by on. This would be very nice. And this would be my dream budget. We plan for the 3 budgets. Why? Because we want to make sure that there's no risk of not making the first one. So you can be content and have peace knowing you're going to be okay. We want the second one, that this would be really nice, because that's actually going to be our target, right? That's where we really, we would like to hit that one, because that's where we're comfortable, and good things happen when we're comfortable. It's easy to be content when we're comfortable. It's easy to be well and invest in our relationships and our health when we're comfortable. But we also want to dream big. So we also ask, what's sort of your dream one? You know, if you accomplish this, you would be saying, wow, we have it all. And that one is so important, because that shows us contentment. It shows us our anything above this is so lavish. This would be amazing. So as you go back to your families and your homes and your relationships, I'd encourage you to think about your 3 budgets you can exist on. This would be lovely, and this is your dream one. Happy December.